So guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at this. It's the BRM Type 15 Formula 1 car with a V16 engine, and not only a V16 but a 1.5 litre V16 engine. It was BRM's first Formula 1 car. It's very famously unreliable, didn't finish barely any races, only competed in a few. Has lots and lots of power for the time. 1950 to 1953 it competed. One still exists and does do historic racing. It's even doing the Goodwood revival this weekend. But yeah, I'm really interested to have a go in this because it sounds unbelievable in real life. So hopefully it's replicated in the sim. So let's go and have a drive. Right, so we're here. We are ready to go. Now the other thing about this, wow, listen to that. It revs, it's 14,000 RPM. So here you can sound, it sounds like a NASCAR almost here. Until you go above 9,000 RPM. And it just screams, it's incredible. Wow, it is very understeery. I'm expecting there to be no traction either, yep, in a straight line. 11, 12,000. Wow. Brake very early. Oh, does lock up as well very easily, so to watch out for that. Oh, yeah, there's so much understeer with these old tyres. Yeah, trying to get in a straight line is difficult enough. Brake for this corner. I don't know how much I need to brake. That's not too bad. Wow, it sounds unbelievable. I couldn't imagine listening to this in real life. It's like a NASCAR on steroids. In every way. It doesn't turn like a NASCAR. Tell you what though, it's great fun sliding out these corners. Yeah, all the power is at the top of the rev range as well. I did read this about the car beforehand. All the power is like above 10,000 RPM. There's not much below that. It's the way the Supercharger works or something. But all the power is up there. So as soon as you get to like 10,000, oh, on the brakes, can I make it? Oh, no, I'm off. Yeah, all the power is above 10,000 RPM, so it's really, really tricky to try and keep it in that rev range all the time. I love this circuit as well. It's where the Goodwood revival is happening this weekend, and it's obviously the Goodwood Motor Circuit. Such a great track, really high speed, super old, loads of tradition, loads of history, and it's so nice to drive a car like this, which did actually race here in period back in the 50s. So it's really cool to recreate that experience. Now, there's no doubt that this thing is super quick in a straight line, but when it comes to braking and comes to cornering, it really leaves a lot to be desired. I did a little bit of testing against a Ferrari supercar to see if it was around the same speed, and it was nowhere near. So I've gone with a Peugeot 308 GTI. So let's see if I can beat a Peugeot 308 GTI in my Formula 1 car with a V16 engine. So then here we are on the grid, a bunch of Peugeot 308s in front of us. You can hear the 14,000 RPM of the V8, and we're off the line. We're off the line pretty good. You'll see our straight line speed here is much faster than the humble Peugeot. But when we get to the corner, I am being a little bit cautious, but I am overtaken on the outside by a Peugeot. I slightly tapped in there, but that's okay. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, we're ahead now because it was the straight line. It's a big slide coming out of there, and we do start to pull away a little bit. But now we come into a few corners. So here's the first right-hander, leads into a slower left-hander, and you can see they're closing. I do go on the grass here, which allows them to overtake, or one of them anyway. I managed to keep the rest of them behind me. And now I've got to chase down this white car. Oh, and the orange. As we come now onto the back of the circuit. But this is my strongest part of the circuit. A big, nice, long straight. So you'll see here, I couldn't really go to the right because I would have had no traction. But yeah, I can go past the orange car with ease on the left, catching the white car. But again, we come to a technical part of the circuit just down here. On the brakes earlier than the Peugeot, I think, because the brakes are just basically non-existent. I can't imagine how much the V16 weighs, although it's 1.5 litres, so maybe not too much. Now into the final chicane. As close as possible to the walls. You have to turn really early in this car. You have to turn much earlier than you think. It's really hard to judge. It's not like any modern car I've ever driven. But again, we're catching on the straight, but again, just can't get in. So, more difficult than I was expecting. Now then, coming back onto the straight, our favourite bit. I'm only doing a 3-lap race here, so this is the second lap. And we're catching. Are we going to get past? Oh, I left the brake car, I was a bit wiggly. And the thing is, you can't stay in the throttle in this car because you'll just spin. So I do manage to almost get past, but he just gets back in front of me before the final chicane. Nice big slide. Love sliding this car. Again, nice and close to the walls. Do run a bit wide, and now orange has actually caught me up, I think. But here we go again, and coming down the main straight, almost slide into the back of the white car, but we do get the lead coming into the first corner. So now, can we hold it for the rest of the lap? He's right behind us, does go onto the grass, but yeah, now it's just a case of holding this lead. The orange has managed to take white in the middle of the lap there. Big slide coming into the double apex right-hander here, and they're going to really close in on me. Forgot to get on the throttle as early as possible. In second, shift up to third to try and save a bit of wheel spin, but I lose it. I end up losing it. I hit the wall, and that is going to give orange the opportunity to come past, or is it? It looks like I've just got enough speed to stay ahead, but I was really on edge there coming out of that right-hander. Stayed in third, stayed in the throttle thinking I could hold it, but there's just no chance from this car. Luckily though, I've managed to keep the lead, and can I keep it? They're right on my tail, you can see them in the mirror. Just got to keep them behind through the last chicane. They're right there. Don't make any mistakes though, and I can accelerate across the line, and we do a nice celebratory crash as my driver goes into disco mode. But yeah, so it's not much faster than a modern day Peugeot 208 or 308 or whatever it is. But yeah, just puts into perspective. It might have a load of straight line speed, but the corners and braking performance is really poor compared to modern day machines. Finally then, it wouldn't be a 4-2 simulation video without a go up the Prescott Hill climb. So off the line, I've shortened the gears for this because it's just pointless doing it with the long gears because there's no power down low. Really slow around the left hand, a big slide coming into the hairpin. There's just no grip with the front tyres. Does not want to go around corners at all. And then there's no traction accelerating out. It's all a big dance basically. It's all a big balancing act driving this car. Loads of understeer through the hairpin. On the throttle, I do early upshift just to keep a bit of traction. Turning super early, again you have to turn way before you think you have to turn. Batter the curbs, it's not too bad. Again, I'm wide of the apex just because I'm late turning in, but still not too bad. Back down to first, carry as much speed as I can through here. On the throttle nice and early. Now keep it in second all the way to the finish, and it's a 54.566, so the slowest car I've taken up the hill, but not too bad considering its age, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. This car is absolutely wild. I'd highly recommend you go and download it if you can. Take it around some of these circuits. It's so much fun. You can just do lap after lap after lap, and it's not all about being precise, it's just about using the throttle at different times, braking at different points, and seeing what you can get away with, because one lap can vary from the next depending on exactly where you are, how much steering angle you have, how much throttle input you have. And that's the great thing about these cars. It's so difficult to be consistent, so much more difficult. Nowadays, it's such a fine line for consistency, and every lap is within a second, you know, in Formula 1, and even if you have a bad lap, it's only a few tenths off. But in a car like this, it can be, you know, 5 seconds between a good lap and an okay lap. So it's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.